Oh, let's rock and roll, Roman.
All right, let's start off with Mike Ganter from the Toronto Sun.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Doing good, Mike. How are you?
Good, thanks. Saw a report about Sergio signing on or re-upping. What's that mean for the team, and how happy are you with that?
Well, I'm happy, Mike. I think that he's brings a wealth of knowledge. We've fit together really well. There's lots of different. I move him around a little bit as far as strategy and what he's covering, and he's been a head coach for such a long time. He knows both aspects and both sides of the ball, all aspects and both sides of the ball. I mean, so it's good. It's good, those guys makes them happy when they get extensions too, right? So that's good. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, for sure. Did you have to talk him into it?
Nope.
I mean, certainly you lose Nate, and then Finch leaves in midseason. So, I mean, I guess you're not fully up to full numbers on your staff. Are you going to add again, or?
Yes. Yes, we're going to add. I mean, it's the same. I probably give you the same thing I thought about before, Mike. I think it's I always look kind of down three avenues, and one would be guys with a lot of head coaching experience, or super experienced, long-time assistant, very, very veteran NBA assistant, or promotion from within is always the third avenue as well. And I'm looking at all three of those right now.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick. Have a good day.
Yep.
I'm going to go next to Michael Grange from Sportsnet.
Hey, Nick. You do look good. 7 hours sleep probably helps, right?
Geez, it might have been more than that last night, Michael.
For you.
We might have got double figures when it was all said and done.
That's awesome. I'm sure you saw Pascal the other day or yesterday gave a pretty nice gift to his mom.
Yep.
And, I was asking him just about off the court, right? Like we kind of focus a lot on how these guys are developing as basketball players, but they've got a whole other life, the other 20 hours of the day. And do you guys try to help young guys kind of along with that kind of stuff, and just how to all of a sudden you go from pretty much nothing to all of a sudden you're a max player and demands and being in the eye of the spotlight, all those kinds of things. I mean, those kinds of things.
Yeah, for sure. There's I mean, as you know, I mean, you've been around long enough to know there's a lot of first of all, there's a lot of programs the NBA has set up for players covering, most facets of becoming a whole person and all aspects of life. There's that, and obviously organization has a lot of staff that are departments that take care of a lot of those things too, and so I think, always trying to develop not only like skills developmentally for basketball, conditioning for basketball, but there's always, there's the sports psychologist stuff, there's the business aspect, of the financial aspect, try to cover everything, relationships that goes back to, whatever, so I think we're here to certainly make them become the best basketball players they can be, but to certainly be valuable members, especially to their family and to the community.
And do you have, as a head coach, you just kind of have to be patient with some of that stuff? Like on court, you can kind of chart progress, right? Like, you watch them in drills, there's all kinds of fitness feedback you get in terms of where people are developing. But some of the other things to kind of develop this, maybe the maturity, you need to be a leader and reach his potential. Like it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think, Michael, you can see guys maturing and probably make better decisions, but there's so many ups and downs, and people make mistakes, and there's always, say, oh shoot, he finally matured, we can quit worrying about, all aspects of what everybody does, and you're always kind of got those things in the back of your mind. And I don't know what I was listening to something early this morning where they were saying that an NFL football coach gets a call every single day about the team's so big and young and all this stuff too, that about something off the field or relationship or whatever. So I guess that's part of it, right? And you just kind of always try to give the best guidance you can. I think our organization puts a tremendous infrastructure in place for that. And you just go from there.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
Next question goes to Eric Corrine from The Athletic.
Nick, what's going on?
Hi, Eric. No, not much. How are you?
It's not picture day for me today. That's all I'll say. I'm all right, thanks. I know you're still a few games away from full-blown evaluation mode. What happened? Where should we go from here? Obviously, myriad things didn't work out the way you would have wanted. Is there any way for you to judge how moving an entire organization across the continent impacted team performance?
I don't know. That's a tough question, Eric. I think that I would sit here. Yeah, I mean, the answer to the question is, I don't know if we can judge it. Did it impact us? If you ask that first, I would say, yeah, for sure it did. I think I've mentioned this many times. I mean, it's a lot harder probably on our staff members who, are kind of entrenched in Toronto or Toronto area, have many family members in school and all. I mean, and they're picking up and coming, and that's going to affect what we do. I mean, if you're going to sit here and say to them, like, they're critical to our success, which we say often, because they are.
Yeah.
And if they're jostled a little bit and affected by it, then that's going to affect us too, right? So there's some effect. Like, I can't sit here and say to you, it cost us at least 6 wins, Eric, or we played really bad in the third quarter, or because we just were uncomfortable about we had to get out for Super Bowl week, or we can't whatever. So I think there's certainly an impact. I think but it doesn't really matter that much, Eric. There's things that happen all the time that you're going to have to try to fight through, and there was many this year. And we're going to have to try to learn as much as we can from it, and then, like you said, we're going to have to be done evaluating here and then start looking forward.
Got to get the analytics team on a new stat for that, I suppose. I'm just wondering, are you going to go to Iowa after the season? Or are you going to go straight back to Toronto? Do you know what your plans are yet?
Yeah, I'm going to stay here. We're going to operate still here from Tampa for a while. Yeah. Just with, draft prep and what do you call those meetings at the end of the year, JQ? Exit interviews, all that stuff.
You're very formal.
Yeah, I don't see any movement north for quite some time yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks, Nick.
Yep. Thanks, Eric.
Going to do 3 more for you, Coach. First one goes to Doug Smith from the Toronto Star.
Good afternoon, Nick. How you doing today?
Doing good, Doug. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay, thank you. You personally might not have more time in this offseason because of your Canadian connections, but your organization will. Have you given a thought to accelerating developmental programs, or how quickly you're going to get in the gym again to get these guys ready for next season, given the extra time you'll have?
Yep. It's all been planned out and put on the calendar already, Doug. I think we're eager for it because we didn't get much of one last year. We've always thought it's been a huge part of our development and our success. It looks like we're going to, hopefully we're going to be able to operate it the way we want to. And with the extra time, we should be able to sneak in like another rotation. Usually there's a rotation of it, and then we kind of go through whatever, it's on, and it's summer league, and then you're off for a bit, and then you're back on, and we should get an extra rotation of that in this year. So did I answer all that?
I think so, but
yeah.
Yes, I think so. But you do have a bunch of young guys
Yep.
may or may not fit into next year. We have no idea
Yep.
what the back end of the roster look like. How vital will it be to get them quickly into the gym with your guys?
It's vital. I mean, I think from two standpoints, Doug, we have to make a decision on whether they're going forward or they're not.
Oh yeah, that's
And if they are going forward, we got to get them better as quick as we can, right? I think it's vital on both fronts.
and you will sit with Bobby and Mazai, I presume, to figure out who is vital and be part of the next wave of whatever you guys are.
Yeah, and we still, I mean, yes, but we still may not be done. You know, there may be some guys that go through to the, you know, we want to put them in summer, we want to get them to summer league, and then they may be evaluated and from there, or they may get to training camp and may either be on, you know, I think it's a similar process, and I think everybody's kind of probably in a little different boat as always as well individually.
Great, thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay, Doug. Yep, thank you.
Next question goes to Josh Lewenberg from TSN.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Good, Josh. How are you?
Good, thanks. We're just talking to Pascal. I thought he made an interesting point to sort of paraphrase. He said that you don't really want to go through adversity all the time, but when you do, it tends to help you learn some things about yourself. I'm wondering through adversity what you've learned about the team this year. I mean, I would imagine that it's reinforced some things, especially recently in terms of the fight that they've showed, but have you learned anything about them through the adversity?
Josh, I'm not sure I'm ready to kind of dig into that quite yet. I'll certainly answer that, give that some thought, maybe next week at the end. I mean, my mind's just not quite there yet to go back and dig in. I mean, we've talked about it a bunch. What have we learned? Well, things can get really bad and adverse, and somehow you got to keep, picking yourself up and getting yourself rejuvenated and bringing positivity and keep coaching and, all those things. And that, I still say you keep developing players every day, right? And then you evaluate them periodically, right? The people have ups and downs, man. Don't get too carried away when a player is individually on an up, and don't get too carried away when he's not playing very well. Sometimes there's ups and downs, and keep developing daily. You can ask me again next week though if you want.
I'll bottle the question for next week.
Okay.
Is that easier said, that point that you just made about the evaluation, is that easier said than done as a coach? I know it probably is as a player to take things, not to overreact to small sample sizes as a player. Is that tough to do as a coach, to say this guy had a rough game or a rough 2 games, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture instead of those 2 games?
Not for me, it's not, Josh. Is it tough for you to do?
Oh, it's definitely tough for me.
I think as it's tough for you guys, makes it a little tougher on all of us sometimes. It's like you solely feel a lot different by the final score a lot, right? Right, and when it's an L, I think people really start digging into individual play. And when it's a W, they don't. A bucket here or there, a whistle here or there, a ball bounce here or there, all of a sudden nobody mentions one thing about how the guy played, or they mention 1,000. So I think as a coach, when you're going through 100 games a year, you probably do have to kind of step back and evaluate the film and find out both mentally and physically if everything's okay before you get ready to play the next one.
Cool. Thanks, Nick. Enjoy the rest of the day.
You're welcome, Josh.
Final question goes to Christos in Greece.
Hello, Coach. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Christos.
I'd like to ask you how you're going to approach the last 4 games of this season, about your team, about the progress of your team, and how optimistic you are about the next season through the progress of the last couple of months of your players.
Could you ask the second part of that again? I couldn't
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yep.
How optimistic you are about the next season? About speaking about the progress of your team through the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So I'm gonna approach them like I've been talking to you guys for 6 weeks now, at least, maybe 8. I'm trying to I'm trying to coach these guys and prepare them to win. We'll put a game plan out there that we think is as good as it can be tomorrow night. We'll find out who's actually going to play at some point tomorrow before the game. Put the best lineup we can out there. You know, there's a couple guys we're going to probably give some runs to that we want to see still, a little bit more. But to answer the second part, I'm extremely optimistic. I think I don't know. I think we've played some of the best teams, maybe better than a lot of teams have, to be honest. And we've been missing quite a few pieces along here. So I think there's some adjustments that need to be made, but I don't see them as very, I mean, we'll make them. I don't see them as hard or impossible or anything like that. I think we make them. I think we got an incredible group of talented young guys, and I think that that group is growing day by day.